So you're thinking of moving to San Luis Obispo? Well, that's not a bad idea, and I'm here to help show you around. And today we explore 5, well, hopefully 5, depending on time, incredibly varied neighborhoods in the city of Arroyo Grande. And the question that I've been trying to answer for myself over the last couple of weeks while preparing for this video is, what is it exactly that makes Arroyo Grande such a quaint and amazing place to call home? And my hope is that this video will help you to answer that question for yourself. And I also hope that when you do come to Arroyo Grande to explore the neighborhoods for your first time, that you'll feel a sense of real familiarity, like you've almost been here before. And if you have been here before, well then I hope that you can learn a little bit more about the neighborhoods, the real estate, and the lifestyle here so that you understand this place at a little bit of a deeper level. So, back to that question. What is it that makes AG so darn appealing, so charming? Well, for one thing, you'll find some of the world's most beautiful rural / coastal real estate right here. Or is it having access to these cool beach towns, but being far enough away from the ocean to not have to deal with that dense fog on a regular basis? Is it the incredible weather that you get here year-round? Is it the village with its lovely boutique shops, restaurants, and coffee bars? Okay, so my answer to that question, unfortunately, is super generic and boring, but it's also the truth, and that it just depends. And the point of this video is not for me to tell you what I think is so special about it, but it's to go explore and find out why you might find it so special. So I did ask a few locals, folks that live here in Arroyo Grande, about what they love so much about living here, and I got 3 different answers. The first answer was the village, just having access to this cool, quaint little downtown area with the park. You get the swinging bridge behind me and the creek flowing through. It's just an awesome place. And then the second was the coastal access to the beach. The beach is just right there, but then also you don't get the heavy, dense fog on such a regular basis that some of the other beach towns do. And then the third said it best, and I'm gonna quote directly what he said here, because I think he said it really well. He said, "It's a nice town with most of the amenities that one would need. It is close to the ocean, and the old downtown area is clean, beautiful, and quaint. Everything is easily accessible in this town." And with that said, I think we should go explore the neighborhoods. Okay, so I just rolled as far as you can go to the east from the village and ended up out in Cherry Creek Estates. So if you take Myrtle Street, eventually it will turn into Myrtle Drive. And this is a really neat spot. A little bit of a different character compared to the rest of the village neighborhood. Newer homes. This one here, 313 Myrtle, is actually under contract right now. 2,200 square feet, modern, relatively large lot. And I believe 1.5 is the listing price. So that's a good little taste of what you get out here on the edge. But what I want to do is head to kind of the more older historic part of the village from here. So we're out here at the very eastern edge, and now we're just going to head back towards the village and look at some other streets and some other houses. Okay, so now we're over here at on Garden Street. This is a little bit more village feeling. And here's a good example of a recent sale. 246 Garden. This is like 2,500 square feet of living space. Has an ADU, and actually the ADU operates as a vacation rental. It's called the Village Cutie. Anyway, that one sold for 1.45 a while back. 2,000 square feet plus, nice place, 1.45. And you can see these other kind of smaller bungalow, mid-century modern, more ranch style properties here that, super quaint. There'll be some Victorians mixed in. here and there. And then there's even, you know, there's some multifamily on occasion, but everything has, you know, great curb appeal. Everything's kind of pretty in its own way. Neat little cul-de-sac here at the corner of Hawkins and Cross Street. Variety of different home styles here. But so, you know, here's that kind of quintessential, cool, modern farmhouse. I don't know about you, but I'm always a sucker for a nice Craftsman. This is 508 Allen. So going forward from here, we're actually gonna head across the 101 over into west Arroyo Grande. And yeah, so that neighborhood should actually go relatively quick. So that's a little bit more of a kind of a straightforward type of a neighborhood. Just kind of like more city streets, kind of gridded out. Some more affordable type stuff over there. But yeah, just before we leave the village, so if you're gonna buy, if you love it over here, like this is gonna be my spot, plan on spending. So if you're looking for kind of, you know, the normal, the common 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you know, between 1,500 and 2,000 square feet. Like for a fixer, you know, 900s probably, right? Something that needs a lot of updating and a little bit of help. And then as you can see, you know, we're quickly gonna move up towards 1.5 million. And then for something smaller, of course, you're gonna be able to spend less, you know, like you're gonna start pushing down to the 8s and 7s for like a smaller 2-bedroom, 1-bath bungalow, something like that, or a fixer. And then of course, there is always the option of a vacation rental. Get yourself an Airbnb. We have a whole nother video about all the rules and regulations for short-term rental operation in SLO County. So I'll put a link to that in the description. But anyway, yeah, so we're gonna head over to the west side, closer to the ocean. And then from there, we'll circle around and head up into the the most desirable part of Arroyo Grande is actually up in the East Hills. So Rancho Grande and the Highlands. So that's gonna be a neat spot. We'll spend a bunch of time kind of exploring around on some walking paths and trails and beautiful real estate up there. But anyway, before I get ahead of myself, let's head over on the other side of the 101. So I wanted to make a quick mention of a couple of neighborhoods that I'm actually not going to cover here in this video. I'm gonna get the drone up in the air to give you a little look at that. So there's the Mesa out here and the Cypress Ridge Golf Course. And so another thing I just want to bring up quickly here is it's hard to talk about Arroyo Grande without bringing up some of the other surrounding cities. So Arroyo Grande kind of bleeds into Nipomo, bleeds into Grover Beach a certain amount. And then there's the golf course communities, which you kind of have to talk about. I'm not going to talk about any golf course communities today because we're going to do that in another video coming up. But so Cypress Ridge Golf Course and community is a beautiful area over here. And then the Mesa. So on the other side of this ag land out here, that there's this big hill. And up on the top of that hill up there, there's actually another golf course up there called Black Lake. And there's some beautiful houses up there. But I can't get to everything today all at once. But just recognize that up here on the hill, and I'm showing in the drone video right now, there's some beautiful, beautiful real estate. And then out on the other side of this ag land out here, the Cypress Ridge Golf Course. And then, as a quick preview, I can spin over to the right here, and here's where we're off to, on the west side of AG. One more quick mention. We just passed the Arroyo Grande High School. And the big thing that the Arroyo Grande High School is known for, to me anyway, I don't know about, I actually don't know that much about the Arroyo Grande High School. All I know is that when I came here to play sports when I was a kid, and now my daughter comes here and plays sometimes, my beautiful 16-year-old daughter, hi Naya. They have great sports facilities. I was always like intimidated to come to Arroyo Grande and play. So seems like a great school to me. And yeah, just past it. We're on Fair Oaks Avenue and we're headed to west side of Arroyo Grande. Okay, so we're walking off of Fair Oaks. We're near the corner of Fair Oaks and Halcyon, heading on to Todd Lane here. And we actually have some kind of interesting real estate happenings here. There's this really kind of neat looking white corner lot over here, 850 Todd Lane. And this one just recently sold for like around $650. There was only one photo of it online. I never saw it. It was being sold as is, and now it's got a sign on it again. And so I'm guessing somebody's flipping it. And it looks kind of neat, right? So I don't see it on the market yet. 850 Todd Lane. But so kind of a smaller place, 3-bed, 2-bath, but I think only around like 1,200 square feet. So we'll have to see if this one pops back up on the market. Again, 850 Todd Lane, corner lot. Anyway, so keep your eye out for that. Then there's another one, 859 Todd Lane, right over here, which is a larger looking home on a little bit of a bigger lot. It's like a plus size lot, and more like 2,000 square feet. But so built back in maybe like 1979, and on the market for around $1 million. Anyway, so Todd Lane. So here's Harlow Elementary School right at the corner of Alder and Farrell, and we are going to roll down Farrell Street. This should be a good spot for you to look up on a map if you're interested in seeing where we're at. The further and further west you get towards the coast, kind of the nicer the streets and homes become. Anyway, we're gonna roll down this way to Walnut Street. We're just about to pass Beach Street here, and go see what we can find as we get a little bit deeper into the community here. So here's Walnut, and you know, you get off Farrell Avenue and you get into these neighborhoods that just feel like super neighborhoody. Very kind of like Americana feeling. I don't know, is that even the right word to describe this? Anyway, lots of kind of mid-century modern, low-profile houses. But some surprisingly cool places in here. Like there's this one over here, 410, I think. Must be coming up on it here somewhere. And it's just surprisingly cool inside with like marble countertops. So here it is right here, actually. Just like the kitchen inside is just surprisingly nice. So it just looks like you're kind of like standard house, but it's got like a outdoor kitchen on the outside. And anyway, a lot of love here in Arroyo Grande. All right, so we are about approaching halfway through this video tour of Arroyo Grande and Grand Avenue here. We're taking a little break at the Greenhouse Coffee Company, which has become my favorite go-to coffee shop in Arroyo Grande. There's like, in both directions you'll find coffee shops. Down a little bit further away from, towards Grover Beach, there's a little drive-through place, and there's another one across the street over here. Anyway, so this is your spot if you need coffee. But so this kind of is going to mark our departure from the kind of the lowlands of Arroyo Grande, and we're going to head up into the east side. We're still going to stay in west of Arroyo Grande to look at a couple more houses, but there's going to be a marked, obvious departure where we just start heading up into the hills. The prices start going up, the lots get bigger, the houses get bigger. It's just a really outstanding zone. So kind of how the village had its own sense of charm. We're going to go up into an area where like charming and quaint don't really describe Arroyo Grande very well anymore. It's more kind of like inspiring views, ocean views, mountain views, and big luxury style homes mixed in with some more affordable type, more like tract homes. So more affordable meaning like you go up into the Highlands neighborhood we'll be heading up into, and you can still you can buy a house in the low millions there, but it's going to be hard to find much, you know, below $1 million unless it's a, you know, serious fixer-upper. Actually, no, there is one little neighborhood that we'll pop into where you can still get into things in the maybe even the upper 8s and 9s. But that's a pretty specific little spot. Anyway, it's going to be beautiful. So stick with me, and we'll head up to the Rancho Grande Park. And what else are we gonna do? Yeah, so that'll be it. Anyway, if you've made it this far, thanks for sticking with me, and let's keep going. So just 1.5, 2 blocks up off of Grand Avenue, and you end up in this beautiful zone of AG. Ocean views. Hard to tell today because it's kind of a hazy day, but maybe you can kind of see the dunes there in the distance. And I think it's going to clear up as we get in towards the afternoon. But yeah, you can imagine the price point starts to change significantly up here. A nice little cul-de-sac like you see here. This home on my left here, 327 Corona del Terra, just sold recently for 1.215. I think that may have been an all cash sale and well over asking, sold very quickly. Yeah, for an ocean view, you're gonna pay quite a bit more. You know, it's your standard 3-bed, 2.5 bath, about 2,000 square feet. Not super modern, but in the backyard there, you're gonna get a really, really neat view. Okay, so at the corner of Brighton and Ruth Ann Way here, just another block away from where we just were towards Grover. And again, just outstanding, beautiful homes up here. And to me, it's actually a little bit surprising what you can get up here for the price. It's like, you know, for ocean view, you generally will pay a pretty hefty price point. And I'm going to show you 233 Ruth Ann Way up here, which is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath with just under 2,900 square feet. And that went for 1.35 million. Here it is right here. So look at that. You know, for 1.35, to me, I don't know what your frame of reference is. I know in some areas of the country, that's a staggering number. But for the Central Coast, you know, ocean view home, 1.35 on a beautiful street like this, not too bad. All right, so we have transported up into the Highlands neighborhood, and we are up on the corner of Vista Drive and Puesta del Sol. And you can't quite tell, but you know, it's kind of hazy and bright out there right now, but nice ocean views right out there. And we're just gonna roll along Puesta del Sol here. Try to give you a quick view of what it's like up here on the hill. And we are way up here. This is one of the kind of the high points of Arroyo Grande. So the homes over here on the right-hand side of Puesta del Sol, these actually open up to open space. You get little like peekaboo views of the ocean. And as you go further on down, a little bit more of an ocean view. I believe this one over here on the right recently just sold for about 1.4, maybe like 2,500 square feet, relatively modern and upgraded. And then over here on this side of the street, you're not going to get those same ocean views and open space, but still, you know, relatively modern homes, decent sized lots, you know, 2,000 square foot type places, and you're going to pay more like 1.2. A lot of pride in homes in this area. And yeah, we also have to pass through the James Way Trail, which is a neat little resource to have here. It's actually some like more wildlife than you would expect over here. You're gonna see like bobcats and coyotes and deer run around these neighborhoods. It's definitely a like a wildland interface, you know? Like you keep going east from here and it gets really wild out there. Of course, you're gonna run into Edna Valley and the wine region out there also. But as you head out towards like Lopez and Wasna Valley, which is another area that we'll have to explore at some point, just rural massive acreage. And I almost forgot to mention 515 Windermere, which is actually not part of this neighborhood, but it's just on the other side of the homes here on Puesta del Sol. And if you're looking for a high-end home, you know, if your budget is 5 million plus, then this could be your own, literally like your own like retreat center. It's, what is it, 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, just under 8,000 square feet of living space on 2.8 acres. The main house includes a media room, wine cellar, gym, game room, plus there's this full 2-bedroom, 2-bath guest house. Outside you've got a pool, spa, outdoor kitchen, there's tennis courts, a mini vineyard, and there's something like 11 garage spaces. Anyway, just an incredible place. It's just over the hill here. It's amazing what you can find just outside the city limits of Arroyo Grande. Okay, so we're just walking off of James Way into the James Way trail system, and just left the Highlands. So if you want to go explore the Highlands, then Equestrian Way is a good way to head up into there off of James Way. Go explore around, find vista, find the roads I was just on up there, and then you can drop back down La Canada, and then, yeah, James Way. So if you want to enjoy a little time out in nature, get away from all the traffic and all the houses, then this is a great little spot. Okay, so if you do it right, you're gonna leave James and then head up the walking paths, come across the Rancho Parkway here, and then you're gonna head up and end up in these incredible view homes here off of Via Bandolero. We're gonna head towards Avenida Diamante. And as far as real estate goes up here, you know, incredible views, large homes on large lots. I mean, everything is just outstanding. See some huge succulents growing, people with incredible flower gardens, and the streets and sidewalks are super well maintained. Okay, well, we finally made it up to Rancho Grande Park, and my goodness, what an incredible place this is to hang out. You'll see lots of kids hanging out in the park. There's basketball courts. Anyway, really, really pretty spot. The real estate up here, you know, in general, for the more beautiful homes on big lots, just expect to start in the 2s. And then as you get, you know, better and better ocean views and larger lots and more beautiful, more square footage, you know, how much do you want to spend? Type of an attitude. It's hard to find much with a 1 in front of it. You can, though you can. If you find a house that needs some updating and doesn't have a view, you can spend 1.2 and then make it your own, update it as you can over time. And then there's actually the Royal Oaks neighborhood, which is just on the other side of the church here. And there you're gonna find smaller homes, no views, but nice. Just it's a sweet little neighborhood. Say you get a 1,200 square foot home on a 5,000 square foot lot. It's pretty, you know, modern and updated. You're gonna spend in the 9s there, so you can get under $1 million. So anyway, we're gonna move on down the road here. We're gonna drop down Rodeo and up Emerald Bay, and then we're just gonna be dropping right back down into the village here. And we're about this close to wrapping this tour up, so let's keep going. So one more thing to appreciate about Arroyo Grande is that you get these really pretty live oaks that you normally see for the most part in the North County. They get big and beautiful like this. And to have them mixed in with this kind of like more like luscious style landscaping, you know, you have these big succulents and these beautiful flowers growing. This is really hard to do anywhere but Arroyo Grande. Every once in a while you'll see it in like San Luis Obispo. Anyway, this is Emerald Way, maybe Emerald Bay Way, and then that just turns into, you see there's a gate here. It turns into Miller. And this is going to take us right back into the village of Arroyo Grande. So don't try to connect this if you're driving, but if you're on a walking or a biking tour, this is a neat little throughway to connect back to the village. James Way is kind of a sleeper spot up here on the hill. More of these beautiful oaks. Incredible views at the very top up here. It is very steep coming down though. Definitely not going to be skateboarding down this hill. But right above downtown, you know, so what a cool location. And like this house up here, this beautiful long driveway, for sure has ocean views. And then these guys over here with their little miniature oak forest looking out to the east, out towards Lopez Lake and the Wasna Valley. Anyway, just a nice quiet little street just outside of the village. Okay, so the difference between being down in the village at 6 a.m. and versus now on a Friday afternoon is insane. The traffic has picked up. There's people everywhere. School just got out, so teenagers everywhere. So I know the question you've been asking this entire time. You've been saying to yourself, Colin, this is all great information, but where is the Trader Joe's? And it's right here. So it's right on the corner of Branch and Rancho Parkway. Super convenient. You can actually see it right off the 101. So if you live in the Rancho Grande neighborhood or close by, super convenient. So in the beginning of this video, I made the claim that Arroyo Grande has some of the most beautiful rural / coastal real estate in the entire world. And I do believe that to be true. But of course, I can't expect you to believe that from watching one video made by Colin Broadwater. So you've got to come and see it for yourself. But one thing I can do is I can show you some beautiful drone footage to give you an idea of what it's like, what this slice of paradise is really like out here. And realize that I'm right here on Orcutt Road near Tiffany Ranch, and about 10-12 minutes to downtown San Luis Obispo, 10-15 minutes to Pismo Beach, and then to get back to downtown Arroyo Grande, just about a 10-minute drive. So it really is a spectacular spot out here, and I can't recommend coming and visiting highly enough. And I look forward to meeting you in person one day for a tour of Arroyo Grande.